My client was Michelle Bates. Michelle's 57 years old. She lives alone, and she was referred by her primary healthcare physician. I met with Michelle at her home, and she informed me that her life has completely turned around for the worst in the past few years, beginning when her mother passed away 3 years ago. Since that time, her health has deteriorated as well. She suffers from severe arthritis in her knees and in her hips, which leaves her unable to stand or walk for more than a couple of minutes at a time without the use of a seated walker. She was also diagnosed with high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes, and her health issues have left Michelle unable to continue working. She did work the past 18 years as a legal assistant, but now she is unemployed and has no income at the time. Michelle also lost her 36-year-old son this year. Because of these issues, Michelle does suffer from depression and anxiety, and she has kind of lost her purpose, her sense of purpose, and fears completely losing her independence altogether. Although she is able to care for herself at home, she does have trouble getting to appointments or running errands due to her mobility issues. She did tell me that she has run out of medication once or twice and went without because she was unable to get inside of the pharmacy. I do believe that with proper support systems in place, this client could continue living independently. We established SMART goals of having her medications delivered to her home, reaching out to agencies regarding home services, such as cleaning, helping with errands, transportation to medical and other appointments, and ongoing counseling for mental health concerns. 3 of the questions that I answered for my case conference assignment were: what skills learned from this class did you use to prepare to see your client? I used a lot of skills learned in this class to prepare to meet with my client. This class has taught me to be prepared to use small talk, empathetic verbal and nonverbal language, and active listening to make my client more comfortable and forthcoming during our interview. I also learned that I should be prepared to answer questions that I anticipate that my client might have for me, and I used the skill of being prepared with open and closed-ended questions to encourage the client to discuss our circumstances and issues with me. During the interview, I used reflecting and assessment skills, and finally, I used the skill of setting SMART goals for my work with this client as learned in this class. The second question I answered was: how did one human behavior theory inform your understanding of your client? Taken from the family stress and coping perspective, the double ABCX model concept of the stress pileup may be applied to this client. Stress pileup refers to a series of crises over time which depletes a family's resources and increases the chances of negative outcomes. In this instance, Ms. Bates's poor physical and mental health have led to a serious financial deficit, which may lead to the inability for this client to provide for her daily personal needs, her medications, or even lose her home. Her mental and physical health may lead to hospitalization, the need for assisted living, or loss of independence, or potentially even death. The third question: what was one potential ethical issue that could have or did arise with your client, and how would you or did you respond? One ethical issue that could have arisen in working with this client was whether or not I would be able to support this client's wish to continue living independently in her home. The client suffers from type 2 diabetes and has severe mobility issues, so I was concerned about whether I would find this client unable to care for herself in a safe and healthy manner. Fortunately, the issue did not arise at this time, as the client is able to care for her basic needs with the use of her walker, and I believe that as long as there are support systems in place, this client should be able to continue independent living.